Welcome. Myself Bakri Haja, Assistant Professor at Potahari Science and Technology University, Bangladesh. After this video, you will be able to analyze the statistics of fossil fuels, both combined and by individual coal, oil, and natural gas, induced global and regional carbon dioxide emission. Let's begin with the global statistics of carbon dioxide emission by fossil fuels. We have already discussed that fossil fuels refers as conventional or non-renewable energy are forms of organic carbon formed beneath the Earth's surface due to excessive heat and pressure of the Earth crust. Around 70 to 80% of global energy comes from these non-renewable sources. Fossil fuels are evident sources of increasing greenhouse gas to atmosphere, including carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere when fossil fuels containing carbon are burned. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) reported that the production and consumption of fossil fuels are significantly related to global warming and climate change worsened by greenhouse gas emissions. The following figures shows global carbon dioxide emissions since 1990 to 2019. Carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuels are a major source of concern for global climate change. Total carbon dioxide emissions by all sources were 22.7 billion tons in 1990 and increased to 36.4 billion tons in 2019, representing a nearly 60% rise. However, we can see in the figure that the fossil fuel caused a 57.5% rise in carbon dioxide emissions from 21.8 billion tons in 1990 to 34.33 billion tons in 2019. Regional carbon dioxide emission from fossil fuels since 1990 to 2019. From the figure, we can analyze that in 2019, China was the most responsible country for increasing carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuels. However, in the early 1990s, China's emissions were not significantly higher than those of other countries. China alone contributed about 2,336.3 million tons carbon dioxide in 1990, compared to about 9,347.8 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019, representing a nearly 300% rise in 2019. Figure also shows that the major increasing trends began in the early 21st century and have continued to this year. In Europe, on the other hand, carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuels have decreased over time. In 1990, total European carbon dioxide emissions were around 7,691.8 million tons carbon dioxide. But this figure has dropped to around 5,206.9 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019, reflecting a nearly 32% decrease. Now, I would like to talk individual fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas induced carbon emissions. Let me first explain about coal-induced carbon emission. This figure showing the regional carbon dioxide emission from coal during 1990 to 2019, and we can see that the emissions patterns are diversified nature. Most of the significant emission occurred by China from year 2000 to 2019. The total carbon emission from China using coal increased in a steep gradient, which indicates that about 7,200 metric ton carbon dioxide emitted in the year of 2019, where in year 2000 it was only about 1,900 metric ton carbon dioxide, which is approximately 4 times lower than 2019. Besides, India and USA produce carbon dioxide following a gradual increasing trend round the year, but most significant change increasing in nature during yearly 2000. Furthermore, European countries have shown a decreasing trend, that is 3,200 million ton carbon dioxide in 1990, while the 1,300 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019. The decreasing trend carbon dioxide emission that indicates about control of using coal for energy production. Rest countries of the world has followed more or less flat trend for production of carbon dioxide using coal as source from 1990 to 2019. Carbon dioxide emission from oil source indicates more or less gradual trend for all of the countries and regions. In case of Asia, excluding China and India, contributes carbon emission following an increasing trend about 1,787 million tons carbon dioxide in 1990, while 2,600 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019. Secondly, the China produces less carbon from oil source, only 1,518 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019. But the European countries produce about 1,875 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019, while 1,624.608 million tons carbon dioxide in 1990. That indicates no significant change in energy use through oil source. Similarly, the United States contribution for global carbon emission using oil is followed by a very gradual increasing trend. Carbon emission by using natural gas as a source of electricity generation depict that present world are highly interested in this field as most of the country follow very significant increasing trend from year 1990 to present situation. In case of Asia, excluding China and India, using coal as power source mostly and contribute a large volume of carbon dioxide emission. Figure indicates that in 1990, Asia, excluding China and India, produced only 532 million tons carbon dioxide, while 2,247 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019. China has a very little contribution for carbon emission using natural gas. Besides, European countries have great contribution like 1,625 million tons carbon dioxide in 1990 and 1,875 million tons carbon dioxide in 2019. The trend is not so significantly changing, but it is an alarming issue that most of the countries of the world produce carbon dioxide by using gas, following in a significant increasing trend. So that's all for today. And thank you for watching this video.